The racetrack is empty. The asphalt stretches forward with no cars, no movement, no sound. Above the start line, the lights hang still, frozen in time. Formula One is usually defined by noise and chaos. Engines screaming, crowds roaring. Split-second decisions made at impossible speeds.
Through goes Hamilton! Unbelievable stuff!
But in moments like this, when everything falls silent, Formula One reveals its true nature. Formula One is a sport built on control. Control over speed, control over machines, control over pressure. At more than 300 kilometers per hour, control is the only thing standing between victory and disaster. One mistake is all it takes. One lapse of focus, one wrong decision. Most drivers spend their entire careers trying to learn this balance. Some never fully master it, but a rare few are different. Some drivers are not shaped by Formula One. They arrive already molded by it. Max Verstappen is one of them.
The Dutch driver will retain his crown. Max Verstappen is a four-time Formula One world champion.
That is 4 in a row, Max.
Today, Max Verstappen is a multiple-time Formula One world champion. A driver associated with dominance, control, and relentless consistency.
Is Verstappen far enough back? He's going to make the lunge down the inside. Hamilton sees it coming. It's a late lunge by Verstappen.
Someone who can manage a race from the opening lap to the final corner without ever appearing rushed. Winning, for Max Verstappen, has become routine.
Yeah, no, for sure. But the pressure is over there. I put a lot of pressure on myself. I always want to do the best I can, try to optimize performances.
But this version of Max did not appear overnight. Before the trophies, there was doubt. Before the respect, there was criticism. Before the dominance, there was chaos. His journey is not a story of smooth progress or steady approval. It is a story defined by pressure, expectation, and constant judgment. A journey that forced him to grow up faster than almost anyone before him. A legacy written in motorsport. Maximilian Verstappen was born on September 30th, 1997 in Hasselt, Belgium. From the outside, it may look like an ordinary beginning, but Max Verstappen's life was never going to be ordinary. Racing was not something he discovered later in childhood. It surrounded him from the very beginning. His father, Jos Verstappen, was a former Formula One driver who competed during one of the sport's most unforgiving eras. He was known for his aggressive driving style and uncompromising mentality. His mother, Sophie Kumpen, was one of the most successful kart racers of her generation, respected across Europe for her speed, precision, and technical skill. In the Verstappen household, motorsport was not a hobby. It was not something done on weekends for fun. It was the family's way of life. At just 4 years old, Max Verstappen sat in a go-kart for the first time. It was not treated as a toy. It was treated as a serious machine. There were no playful laps, no relaxed encouragement from the sidelines. From the very beginning, karting was approached with professional intent. Jos Verstappen did not see racing as entertainment. He saw it as a long-term apprenticeship. Max was taught racing lines, braking techniques, and mechanical discipline before most children his age could read fluently. He learned to understand grip, balance, and precision long before he understood schoolbooks. His childhood was not shaped by playgrounds, cartoons, or schoolyard games. It was shaped by cold mornings at racetracks, the smell of fuel, and the unforgiving reality of the stopwatch. The crucible of competition. Max's early development was defined by structure and pressure. Mistakes were not ignored. They were examined in detail. Losing was not comforted. It was questioned. This environment was harsh, sometimes bordering on extreme, but it was never accidental. Jos Verstappen believed that if his son was going to survive at the highest level of motorsport, he needed to understand its brutal reality immediately. There would be no shortcuts, no excuses, no protection from failure. In the Verstappen world, results mattered above all else. As Max entered international karting, his talent became impossible to ignore. He was not just fast, he was relentless. He attacked corners aggressively, defended positions without hesitation, and raced with an intensity that seemed unusual for someone so young. Second place meant nothing to him. If he wasn't first, the race was a failure. This uncompromising mindset separated him from his peers and followed him through every level of competition.
Final one. I was leading and made a mistake, so I finished second.
He regularly raced against opponents who were older, physically stronger, and far more experienced, and still beat them. Across karting paddocks throughout Europe, the name Verstappen began to carry weight. Some admired his fearless, elbows-out approach. Others were unsettled by it. His driving style was aggressive, often controversial, leading to clashes both on and off the track. Critics described him as too emotional and too uncompromising. Supporters argued that he simply understood what winning at the highest level demanded. The meteoric rise. In 2013, at just 15 years old, Max Verstappen won the KZ World Championship, the highest and most demanding level of karting. This was not a junior category. It required physical strength, technical understanding, and mental resilience. Winning it at such a young age sent shockwaves through the motorsport world. But even then, doubts followed. Many believed his aggressive, win-at-all-costs approach would eventually lead to serious problems once he moved into faster, heavier cars. The transition came quickly. In 2014, Max stepped into single-seater racing, joining the Formula 3 European Championship. For most drivers, the move is brutal. The cars are less forgiving, mistakes are punished instantly, and pressure increases dramatically. Max adapted almost immediately. He won 10 races that season, often excelling in wet or chaotic conditions where control mattered more than raw speed. Formula One teams were watching closely. The paddock buzzed with a single question. Was this teenager really ready for Formula One? Breaking the mold in Formula One. In 2015, Max Verstappen made his Formula One debut with Toro Rosso at just 17 years old, the youngest driver in the sport's history. The reaction was immediate and intense. Too young, too dangerous, too much, too soon. But from his very first races, Max ignored the noise. He overtook experienced veterans with confidence that bordered on defiance, attempting moves in corners where others would never consider passing. His early Formula One seasons were a double-edged sword. His speed was undeniable, but incidents followed. The nickname Mad Max spread quickly. Criticism intensified. Senior drivers openly questioned his judgment, yet Max refused to fundamentally change his approach. He believed Formula One needed drivers willing to take risks, and that hesitation was weakness. The turning point. Everything changed midway through the 2016 season. In a bold and unexpected decision, Red Bull Racing promoted Max to the senior team for the Spanish Grand Prix.
And also the trust Red Bull put in me from that very young age, and then promote me to the senior team. It's just an incredible journey altogether.
The pressure was immense. He was stepping into a race-winning car under global scrutiny. Against expectations, Max remained calm. He managed his tires carefully, controlled the pace, avoided mistakes, and he won. At 18 years old, Max Verstappen became the youngest race winner in Formula One history. It was the moment everything changed. The path to mastery. From 2017 to 2020, Max refined his craft. Aggression turned into precision. Risk turned into calculation. He learned that championships are not won in a single corner, but across an entire season. By the time 2021 arrived, Max Verstappen was complete. The title battle that year pushed him to his absolute limits. When the season ended, Max Verstappen stood as Formula One world champion.
Once he achieved that, like today, and then having that emotional moment also with my dad behind into the garage, basically, it was really special and something I will never forget.
After that, dominance followed. In 2022 and 2023, he didn't just win races, he dismantled the competition. Records fell. Victories became routine. Away from the circuit, Max lives a life of deliberate simplicity. He avoids celebrity, he focuses on performance, he spends time with his partner, Kelly Piquet. From a 4-year-old in a kart to one of the most dominant drivers in Formula One history, Max Verstappen's story is not an accident. It is the product of relentless pressure, discipline, and belief. Racetrack may be silent now, but the next race is always coming, and Max Verstappen remains in control.